Hey guys, welcome to another Warzone video. This is Andos Gaming. Hope you're all having a good day. In today's episode, I'm going to teach you how to practice your aim in Call of Duty Warzone. Have you ever noticed that when you're watching the pros, their aim is kind of like godlike, it's just on another level? Well, most of the time it's because they've put in thousands of hours into gaming and have developed the skills over the years. You're probably thinking, well, how do I close that gap? Well, it's quite simple really. You need to practice your aim, get in the repetitions, and you can improve in that aspect of the game. And in today's topic, we are going to discuss the best way to practice your aim to help you get the edge on the competition. Another key note is this is good for people who don't really play multiplayer like myself and just playing battle royales at the moment. In BRs, there's just too much time in between fights, so it just makes it really difficult to develop good aiming skills. Even if you do play multiplayer, I'm sure this video will still be beneficial. We are going to go over the best methods to practice your aim. I will also be giving you some key tips just so you can build those good habits while aiming. So there are little things that the pros do that we don't really notice at times. So make sure to watch the video until the very end if you are interested in improving your aim. Also, before we start, if you find this video brings you any type of value or you just enjoy this type of content, make sure you smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. If you like this type of videos, make sure to sub to the YouTube channel. I make a lot of tips and tricks videos where I break things down, make it easier for you guys to learn. I also do a lot of analysis and breakdowns on how the pros play. So yeah, please consider subbing to the YouTube channel. But without further ado, let's begin. Just some housekeeping really quickly. There's been a lot of videos about this, so you should already know, but just in case you don't, recoil control is very important. For example, I use the Kilo. I think it's one of the best guns to practice your aim with. So with the Kilo, the recoil goes up and left. So when I shoot, I drag my mouse down and right. That's applicable for controller as well. This way I can control the recoil quite easily, so make sure to keep that in mind when shooting your gun. Okay, so what you want to do now is jump into a bot lobby. You want to set your enemies to 250 health just to replicate Warzone. You want to set your ammo to max. The mode you want to choose is free for all. And the map you want to select is Euphrates Bridge. So choose the gun you want to practice with. In my opinion, it's always good to practice with the gun you're going to use in the actual Warzone gameplay, but at the end of the day, any gun should do fine because you are trying to improve your aim. Now that you're in your bot lobby, what you want to do is practice your mid to long range aiming. So a lot of fights like this do occur in Warzone. So yeah, you just want to kill a lot of bots at this point, get the repetitions in. I want you to focus on tracking and getting headshots. By training your aim and simulating what it would be like in Warzone, in time your aim will be much more smooth, it'll be more fluid, and your reaction time should increase. The idea is just to get comfortable and building that muscle memory. The concept is, if you have enough training through repetitions and practice, it becomes instinct and your performance should improve during actual Warzone matches. Similar to, you could say, professional athletes, they don't just go into competition without putting in the practice behind the scenes. In the next section, I'll be giving you some good habits and tips and tricks when aiming. These are very important to implement while aiming. These are things I noticed when watching some of the best players in the world. I've also tried to implement these good habits into my gameplay, so I hope these help you out as well. Tip number 1 is strafing while shooting. You should always be strafing while you're aiming and shooting. This just makes you a harder target to hit. Personally, I feel more accurate when I'm strafing and shooting at the same time. If you watch a lot of the pros, a lot of the time they're always strafing while shooting, they're always moving in and out, they're never kind of standing still while they're aiming down sight. You also want to learn what is called counter strafing. So what counter strafing pretty much is just moving back and forward while adjusting the crosshair on the enemy accordingly. So this is a very important skill. So in this example, I'll just show a clip of Husker's counter strafing. He's one of the best players in the world at the moment and he counter strafes very well. It's quite a simple example really, but it's very efficient at the same time. So make sure you practice your counter strafing, guys. Another good tip when strafing is you can mirror the enemy's movement. So for example, in this little clip here, I noticed the enemy crossing the road. I know he's going to go to the right, so I just set my target, move to the right with the enemy at the same time. So yeah, that does kind of help as well, but play around with it. Just a key note here is just to make sure you're strafing, getting into that good habit just to make yourself a little bit harder to hit and improving your accuracy along the way. Tip number 2 is jump shots. When you're comfortable with aiming, tracking and strafing, you want to practice your jump shots, even at mid to long range. This is a really good skill to have, especially for scenarios where the enemy is shooting back or catches you by surprise. It just makes it a lot harder for them to track you. So when you do jump shots, you want to focus your crosshair on the enemy still while jumping. This is very important, so please keep that in mind. If you practice this enough, you'll learn the pattern, so make sure you get those reps in. Tip number 3 is slide cancelling, then aiming. Another key mechanic you should definitely train is slide cancelling into gunfights. When you slide cancel around corners or in and out of cover, you have what is called a picker's advantage. A lot of the pros utilize this mechanics and I highly recommend you practice this move. So I want you to focus on slide cancelling and then aiming down sight. If you're not sure what the best way to slide cancel is, or you just want some tips and tricks on movement, I have already made a video about advanced movement about Warzone. I break everything down and make it easier to learn. So if you are interested in that, I'll leave a link in the description or just click the box at the end of the video. On that note, I can't stress enough, make sure you practice your slide cancelling then aiming down sight. Do it around corners, in and out of cover. So make sure you get those repetitions in and just get used to the movement. Tip number 4, use your environment while shooting and aiming. When aiming and shooting, a lot of casual players don't really consider the environment. I want you guys to practice your aiming and shooting but still have awareness of what's around you. For example, most pro players are already strafing towards cover when shooting, or they jump in and out of cover really well. So practice using your environment as cover while shooting. It's a risk reward system in the game, so always use cover in certain situations to your favor. So what you want to do is you want to minimize the risk while causing max amount of damage at the same time. Tip number 5 is putting everything together and just practice. If you want to get better at Warzone and specifically aiming, the number 1 fact and the most important thing is you need to practice your aim. Think about professional athletes for a minute. When they go out and perform in their specific craft/sport, they have already put in many hours behind the scenes. Hence, when they do perform, it's really all just instinct. There's a specific flow to it, and it happens because all of the hard work has already been done. With Warzone, just use the same concept. If you practice in bot lobbies and on the specific mechanics, you'll perform much better. So my recommendation is just try to practice on bots 20 minutes a day and just work on the little things. Focus on what you need to improve on. If that's not your thing, maybe just warm up 10 minutes before you jump into Warzone. Just get the reps in and I guarantee you your aim will get definitely better. On a side note, if you are on PC and you're looking at other methods to train your aim, I've actually made a video about aim trainers relating to Warzone. So if you are interested and you are on PC, I'll leave a link in the description. Okay, just a disclaimer, I actually already finished editing this video, but now there's been a Season 1 Cold War integration with Warzone. So what that means, it's impossible to practice with Cold War guns in these Modern Warfare bot lobbies. So what you might need to do to practice with the Cold War guns, you might need to get Black Ops, or another thing you can do is just try to set up a similar gun with similar recoil if you're trying to get good at that Cold War weapon. And if you can send an email to Activision to tell them to put the Cold War guns in the Modern Warfare bot lobbies, that would be great. Unfortunately, this is not the case at the moment, so play around with it, see how you go, but I do hope this video has helped you in some kind of way. That is it for today, guys. If you found this video helpful at all, remember to smash that like button. Also, remember to sub to the YouTube channel Endless Gaming for more tips and tricks videos. I just want to say thank you so much for watching my content. I actually do really appreciate it. So take care for now, and I will see you guys next time.